If we were to identify one characteristic that represents a true warrior, what would come to mind first? Strength, will to fight, or notable achievements? Everyone may have different choices, yet many do not use these as a measure to evaluate a warrior. What they value most in a hero is loyalty. Football is similar. A player's journey often follows this path, starting from humble beginnings, rising with talent and determination, shining with renowned teams. As the career reaches its twilight, they begin to seek a peaceful place. Football evolves and is influenced by the age of money. Consequently, the relationship between a player and a club is gradually affected by materialism. The story of a player bought for tens, even hundreds of millions, and paid a high salary, yet due to a minor disagreement, they demand to leave, which is not uncommon. In Italian football, we often mention the name Paolo Maldini as a symbol of loyalty, and he has become a legend. The legend of AC Milan once said this to The Atlantic: "During my playing days, I hated transfer periods. Milan and I never intended to part ways. We negotiated the end of my contract 3 or 4 times, and I even spoke directly with the club, not through an agent." Nowadays, such sentiments are rare. Yet, in the Bundesliga, a love story like this has unfolded over decades, often likened to a real-life fairy tale. He, too, despised transfer sagas like Maldini, none other than Marco Reus. Over several seasons, the German player has struggled to maintain his peak form. The Marco Reus known at the height of his prowess was a player with speed and technique that enchanted many. In the early 2010s, Reus was sought after by giants across Europe like Juventus and Real Madrid. However, he made one of the most crucial decisions of his career, returning to wear the colors of his hometown club Borussia Dortmund in 2012. Since then, it has been 12 years that the German midfielder has been loyal to the club, experiencing various highs and lows alongside numerous generations of players and coaches who have come and gone. We still witness a Reus wholeheartedly committed to the black and yellow colors. Reus has harbored feelings for Dortmund since childhood. It's not difficult to find images of young Reus in the team's jersey. His idol as a striker was Thomas Rosicky, and consequently, his football career began with this club. Reus joined Dortmund's academy at the age of 7, progressing through youth levels and recognized as an exceptional talent. Events unfolded in 2006 when Dortmund faced financial crisis, teetering on the brink of bankruptcy, leading them to sell off their most valuable assets, including Marco Reus. The standout season was 2011-2012, where Marco Reus scored 18 goals in 32 Bundesliga appearances, a remarkable feat for a midfielder just entering his 20s. That summer, Marco Reus received numerous transfer offers from across Europe, notably including Bayern Munich, renowned for their domestic talent poaching. However, Marco Reus was an exception. Even Real Madrid's repeated offers were consistently met with a shake of his head. They say timing is everything, and when Dortmund expressed a desire to bring him back home, he immediately agreed. Perhaps that was what he had been waiting for. Returning, Marco Reus played under Jurgen Klopp, forming and contributing to a golden generation, alongside names like Mats Hummels, Mario Götze, Robert Lewandowski, İlkay Gündoğan, and Nuri Sahin. They were not just teammates on the field, but also extremely close friends off it. Particularly notable was the relationship between Marco Reus and Lewandowski. Yet, it was for this reason that Marco Reus earned the nickname the loneliest man in football, as one by one, his teammates left to seek wealth and fame. Even his close friend Lewandowski bid farewell to join arch-rivals Bayern Munich. It's not uncommon to see viral videos online that splice together footage of close friends both in the same team and later as rivals. There's a bittersweet look in their eyes, mixed with pride and happiness for the success of their former teammate. Titles kept coming for Lewandowski after he moved to Bayern. As for Marco Reus, he's never tasted glory in the Bundesliga. If only he had chosen to leave, perhaps we would have witnessed a Reus at the pinnacle of world football. Nonetheless, Reus has never regretted staying at Dortmund. I've never felt regret about my decision. Everything I decide comes from my heart. I think it's simple. It speaks to who I am. No matter what decision I have to make, I always listen to my heart, Reus shared in an interview with ESPN. Despite difficulties and setbacks, Reus remains loyal to Dortmund, choosing to remain faithful to his childhood club. While Reus may have missed out on titles, in return that loyalty has earned him something even more valuable than silverware: respect. When talking about loyalty in modern football, Marco Reus always remains at the forefront. In recent seasons, the German player has seen limited playing time due to injuries and hasn't made standout contributions on the pitch. But try searching online. Is there any criticism directed towards Marco Reus? Of course not. Loyalty is rewarded like that. Time passes inexorably, and we always knew this day would come. And when it does, it truly pains the fans. Marco Reus and Dortmund have decided to end their 12-year relationship. The club announced in a statement that Marco Reus and Borussia Dortmund have reached a mutual agreement that his current contract will not be extended, as both parties will part ways this summer. Full focus will continue on the remaining matches of the team, along with our firm commitment to pursuing our dreams in the Champions League. In 12 years playing for the club, Marco Reus has appeared in a total of 424 matches across all competitions, scoring 168 goals and providing 128 assists. Beyond the numbers, the most valuable legacy is the loyalty that Reus has shown to Dortmund. I am incredibly grateful and proud of this special time at Dortmund. I've spent more than half of my life at this club and enjoyed every day, despite, of course, there were difficult moments. I know it will be very difficult to say goodbye at the end of the season. However, I am very happy that now everything is clear and we can fully focus on the remaining very important matches. The crucial matches Reus mentioned are the remaining ones in the Champions League. Dortmund secured a victory against PSG in the first leg with a minimal score. They have a chance to reach a final for the first time since the 2012-2013 season. People often talk about Messi deserving a World Cup title for many years. And finally, the Argentine superstar had a complete ending with the Gold Cup at the end of 2022. Fairly speaking, Marco Reus also deserves such a complete ending, and the final opportunity is approaching, as he and Dortmund could win the Champions League this season. If they defeat Paris Saint-Germain in the upcoming match, Reus and teammates will head straight to Wembley Stadium. Regardless of whether their opponent is Bayern or Real, Marco Reus's teammates will exert themselves to bring home a complete conclusion for the loyalty he has shown to the team over many years. And of course, there's nothing greater than that. It's known that if you compare Dortmund's strength with those two giants, the difference is considerable. However, spirit and determination often create miracles. This summer will be a tearful one for many Dortmund fans as they witness an icon of loyalty depart after 12 years of dedication. Even though during that time Marco Reus couldn't transform Dortmund into a force in European football, it's thanks to him that fans can understand what eternal love from a player to a club means. After all, let's cheer Marco on to potentially lead the team to victory in the Champions League this year. That would be a fitting gift for a symbol of loyalty.